pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Woman tearfully denies murdering former in-laws after serving them poisonous mushrooms. Erin Patterson was the only one who didn't get ill after she served lunch to four family members, with three of them dead and a fourth fighting for their life in hospital. The four people were fed death cap mushrooms. You know this thing right there? That's apparently that's it. Oh, a woman who served four family members poisonous mushrooms before three of them died has tearfully denied doing anything wrong as homicide detectives investigate her as a suspect in the case. Erin Patterson was the only one who didn't get sick after eating the meal at her home in Leongatha in Victoria, Southeast Australia on Saturday, 29 July. Her former in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, both 70, were among those who ate the meal which contained the poisonous fungi. Gail Patterson's sister, Heather Wilkinson, 66, and her husband, Reverend Ian Wilkinson, 68, were also at the table. All four felt unwell by midnight that evening before Gail Patterson and Mrs. Wilkinson died nearly a week later on Friday, 4 August. Don Patterson died the next day. Reverend Wilkinson, a pastor at Korombura Baptist Church, is still fighting for his life in hospital. Erin Patterson's two children were also at the lunch but were given a meal not containing the toxic mushrooms. Poof. They have reportedly been taken into state care as a precaution. The case has gripped Australia after police opened a homicide investigation and confirmed that Mrs. Patterson is a suspect. The 48-year-old is reported to be separated from her husband, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, but their split was described as amicable. It is suspected the four people were served mushrooms known as death caps, which are responsible for 90% of all toxic mushroom-related fatalities. Speaking outside her home on Monday, Mrs. Patterson broke down in tears over the loss of some of the best people I've ever met. The loss to the community and to the families and my own children who have lost their grandmother, I just can't fathom what has happened, she said. I am so sorry that they have lost their lives. I just can't believe it. Mrs. Patterson did not answer questions from reporters about the meal she cooked. However, she denied any wrongdoing when she was reminded she was a suspect in the investigations. I didn't do anything. I love them, and I'm devastated they are gone, she said. Police have said the fact Mrs. Patterson is being investigated doesn't mean the deaths were a tragic accident. Detective Inspector Dean Thomas said, I'm not aware of an investigation where we've had three people die as a result of apparent food poisoning, whether that be by a mushroom or something else. So yes, it is quite unique. Mrs. Patterson has not presented with any symptoms, so again, that forms part of our investigation whether she did or didn't eat any of the mushrooms or anything else that may have been eaten on that particular day. That's it. That's it. She's crazy.